let's start with the lagoon tank. In this water box system, I have primarily only corals that are moving. So everything is moving around. There's lots of LPS, there's some softies in here as well. There's a whole island with an anemone right over here, which is kind of separated from everybody else, so that the anemones cannot climb over, or maybe they can climb over right over there. So you can see that there is one anemone all the way in the back. Let's see if we can spot it right over here. And it's right behind this rock. So what's wrong with this tank right now? Well, that Duncan colony right over there fell and it stung my beautiful favia, which I've had for a very long time, but now it's got stuff on the left and on the right that's dead. So I need to, I guess, cut off the dead tissue and then see what will the new growth be on this particular rock. So that's one problem. I think I can clean up a little bit the sand right over here. There's some detritus. And for handling detritus, I usually rely on the help of the urchins, which I don't see right now, but whenever they come out, I can just pick off pieces of detritus off their back. Yeah, I think we can see the anemone right in there. And there is a little bit of pulsing xenia in the back as well, which I need to get rid of. So that's clearly a problem if I don't take care of it soon enough. So favia, the xenia in the back. Oh, here is the urchin right over there. So right now he doesn't have anything on his back because I've recently cleaned him off. But speaking of that rock, you can see that there's a bit of imbalance. You've got a little bit extra stuff on the right, but there's kind of barren in the front left. So I need to take care of that, and that's another thing I need to improve. Then moving on to this other rock, I think everything is looking pretty decent. I'm not finding any issues. I gotta check in on this that little snail, because it hasn't moved in quite some time, and you don't want the snail to just be sitting there for very long. If it's dead, it's gonna rot. So I will need to look out for that. Now, right over there, you got the green goblin and acropora, and you see that it's starting to die off where the frog spawn is touching it. So I need to move it a little bit off to the side and maybe remove the dead branches. So speaking of coral, everything is available on treasurecorals.com. You can pick up all of this coral there, and I ship all across Canada. Now, moving further, you've on the left, I gotta take care of that little thing that's sticking out of my beautiful favia. This favia has been with me for close to 10 years, and it's grown significantly, so I'm very attached to it. And so is this, I'm not sure if it's a tube worm of some sort. So I'm gonna have to detach this guy using a blade, and then it will grow over it, but it's just unsightly. So that's another thing I need to take care of. There is a little bit of recession on the left side. I think there's been some, I haven't found the cause yet, but I think it's maybe some flow experiments that I was doing. I need to clean this off and maybe rearrange where this particular colony is sitting. So I need to prune it, bottom line. There is this green slimer in the back that I'm thinking I might even remove or just clean it up a little bit, because it is, you know, this whole thing is just, I'm not digging it. And also this this is green star polyps is massive, and it's kind of touching the rock. So I don't like that part as well. I'd like to find a space where it can really open up. So, but I like the color a lot. And then finally, we've got that same worm. You can see it right over here. That's sticking out of this. I think it's a pavona coral. Am I wrong? I gotta look it up. So, which I'm going to actually frag soon as well. Maybe I'll do both things at the same time. I'll frag part of it and also get rid of that worm. How do you get rid of the worm? you snap it off and then you glue that entrance and he is gone. And I think that's it in terms of what's wrong with this tank. I think everything you see here, there was another coral that was touching it, so I gotta figure something out here. And the sand is pretty decent, but I think I can do better. I've started to dose polyplab bacteria, which seem to really have been helping with keeping the sand clean. So overall, pretty cool. Did I miss anything else? Let me know. And let's move on to the treasure reef. Moving on to treasure reef. I gotta clean up some of the sand. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more sand over here because it's too, I guess there's just not enough, and I want a little bit more, so I have to rearrange things a little bit less. Now, what else is not so awesome? There's some corals that are touching each other, so you can see them right over here. So I gotta kind of clean up that mess right in the back. Stop. Go away, buddy. What am I gonna call you? Pinocchio? So here we are. These two corals are really touching each other, so I need to do something about it. This island, you've got a couple of pieces of dead tissue. This is kind of something that happened probably 8 months ago, and I have never really been at it. Now, this is actually another awesome thing to point out. Look at this few colonies. This is why some corals are so expensive and some are a lot less. So I got some of those colonies probably 8-9 months ago, and they just have not, well, colonies, frags, they have not grown at all. And yet, for example, this yellow alcorn Monty, this one has been growing like gangbusters, so I have lots of it. And what else is wrong with this tank? I gotta look at a few more places where corals touch. So maybe right over there, there's a piece where things are a little bit touching. I have to remove a little bit of detritus out of this colony right over here. And that coral needs to go. I don't think it's doing very well. It's been through a lot, and just not the one that I want to see in my main display. This guy has a couple of dead branches. Again, I also have to take care of that. And that mess in the back over there, I gotta maybe frag a few of those goldenrods, because he has been growing great, and it's a beautiful color, very different than the green Anacropora. So I like it, and I'm going to do a few frags, maybe post them on the site at some point. And so goes with this Monty as well. I think it's the hologram Monty. Looks kind of grafted to me. And I've never fragged it before, so maybe that's another one to frag. I think this green Monty is starting to really cover the rock, so I'll need to do a little bit of something about that. And other than that, there's a little bit of detritus kind of stuck between the rocks, so I will need to do something about it. What do we have in the back there? I think there's a little bit more dead coral in the back, so I will need to clean it off. But other than that, I think the tank is looking good, and I don't know if I would change anything else about this aquarium at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here we are just a couple of days later, and I've made a few changes that I discussed I was going to in the video earlier. So let's take a quick look at what's going on. But first, let's just admire those two guys. I really like clowns, and I really like anemones. I still haven't figured out what is causing the bubbles on them. My guess is actually not enough, or maybe low flow and low light is what will bring them out, but I don't know. If you think you know what is causing it, please let me know or write in the comments below. But let's take a look at the tank. So first of all, I have made some changes to this island. You can see now it's a lot more balanced, and I do like it a lot more this way. So it's now kind of becoming a little bit more even, but still kind of a bit skewed to one side, so maybe that's something for another day. This island over here, the torches are looking great, and I haven't got around to fixing the green goblin kind of burn tips over there. That just was a little bit too much. Now, what else did I do? I have fragged a whole bunch of this Mr. Fuzzy Naphthia, and I think I've got at least one frag available, but there's going to be a few of them on treasurecorals.com, so keep an eye out on it. If you need it sooner, just send me a note and we can maybe figure something out. I can always send you a custom order of things that I haven't taken photos at. So when I fragged it, it was shrunk and was not looking good for about, I'd say 2 days, but I think it's day 3 and pretty much all of it has fully recovered, so that's pretty awesome. Now, what else do we have? I have cleaned up this part of the rock. I brought back this beautiful green goni in the back there, the flower pot. So for a while it wasn't doing very well, and I have cut off the dead tissue, and you can see that the rest of it is actually looking pretty good. So if you've been following the tank for a while, you know that that's what has been going on. What else? I think those are the major differences. I think I've covered whatever I could in the span of a few days, and I think I will be doing a few more of those videos in the future. So if you like that format, if you like me going around the tank and finding what's wrong and then documenting it, please let me know, and I'll be shooting more of these type of videos. It certainly is more motivating even just for myself. I find that for the tank to be successful, I have to really be paying attention to it, and when you have a few tanks, well, it's a little bit more complicated. And let's take a look at the SPS Reef. Maybe I've done something there as well. And yes, I've made a few changes to the reef as well. I have taken a couple of colonies out. A few of you have complained that, well, you didn't complain, you brought to my attention that the tank was looking too green, and yes, that is correct. So I've been spending some time to balance it out and taking some of the green colonies out and putting the other ones in. So this is kind of where we are right now. I'm still not 100% happy with the tank, and I think it's going to take me at least a few more months to get it really kind of balanced and to my liking. But as you can see, there's been quite a few nice improvements. The corals are looking good. I have fragged this little red Ferrari, which doesn't look the most amazing under the 10K light, but trust me, if we bring it under the actinic, it just goes nuts. So that's my little red Ferrari. And what else? We've got, yeah, everybody else is looking good. And I'm really happy with this little fella, who is starting to turn to be my absolute favorite fish. Powder blue, please close your tiny ears. Do fish have ears? I don't think so. But yeah, he is awesome. And so is the rest of the tank. I have fooled around with an idea of bringing a little anemone and putting it right over here. It's because I got 2 clowns, and maybe you know, they'll host there. Let me know what you think. Is it not a great idea to put into a high flow SPS tank anemones? But I like to experiment, and you know, I like anemones. What else did I do? I've made some cleanup over here, but I'm still, I need to clean up, stop photobombing guys. I need to clean up that piece in the back, and I gotta get to that golden rod goblin or golden rod anacropora in the back. That's something for maybe another day. And yeah, everybody else is looking pretty good. Let's take a nice little look through the viewer. That's very nice. I like how I can examine what's going on with the corals up close. I do use my flipper on multiple aquariums, so definitely a product I would recommend. And yeah, look at this guy. He is still closed off. This is specifically for Demo. So Demo, this thing has closed off. I don't know what is going on. Look at this guy. Now look at this guy over here. Same idea. The polyps are retracted, and yet they are super healthy. Lots of new growth, lots of greens and yellows, and even the one in the back there, same thing. Look at that. He is got all the coral polyps in, but it has been growing, and it's looking pretty good. So if you can figure out what I can do to get those polyps out, I would really appreciate it. That has been bugging me for a while. With that said, see you next week.